Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. Such a pleasure to meet the brothers from this community, especially my friend Doctor. Allah bless you. Alhamdulillah. In these few minutes we have, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make these words a means of benefit for all of us, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا ربي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. قال تعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إلى آخر الآية. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما أنا رحمة مهداة أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي يا ربي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. Respected elders, beloved brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us that we've come to this lovely town, alhamdulillah. Always makes me happy to come here because the people here are like my family, alhamdulillah. Myself and Ashraf, we always come here and meet our friends, Doctor's family, alhamdulillah. Beloved brothers, nikah is such a blessing because it brings families together. That's what makes it so nice. Do you know, respected elders, from the ibadat, the worship that Allah loves most is Allah loves salah, Allah loves our fasting, Allah loves our hajj. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked his Sahaba, do you know what Allah loves the most? Sahaba said, what? Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, to bring people together. Allah loves that action the most. And nikah is one way of that. When we bring people together and people be united on Allah's name. And how great is Allah's name? Two people are together out of nikah. It's a sin. Every word they speak to each other with lust, their touches, their messages, their interaction is sinful. After Allah's name comes into that whole situation, it becomes ibadah. Every touch becomes a worship. Every communication becomes ibadah. What is ibadah? Salah is ibadah. That becomes ibadah. They smile to each other. The way they talk to each other kindly, all becomes ibadah. That's how beautiful Allah's name is. How mubarak Allah's name is. Meat. Allah's name wasn't taken. It was slaughtered. It's haram. The same meat, take Allah's name. It becomes halal. It becomes thawab. How powerful is Allah's name. There was a great sahabi, radiyallahu anhu. His name was Abu Talha. Have you heard his name? Abu Talha, radiyallahu anhu. Now Sahaba are great. The hadith says they are our stars. So if we put few examples of their life, it becomes an inspiration for all of us. He heard about this lady Sulaim. Sulaim. Try and remember Sahaba radiyallahu anhu's names and listen with the intention that we can practice and we can share it with our children, share it with our families, because it becomes a guide for us in life. Sahaba radiyallahu anhum's life, because Sahaba were the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah chose them to be Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's companions. Every Sahabi is chosen. That's how great it is when we take their names, we get rewarded. So Abu Talha hears that Sulaim, who's a prominent woman, he didn't know she's Muslim and so on. This is the early Medinan life. The life of Medina Munawwara, where Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was spreading Islam. Not everyone was Muslim yet. So Abu Talha hears that Sulaim is available. So he goes to the home and he wants to propose. Her previous husband had passed away. He was killed on a journey. But he refused to embrace Islam. But she was Muslim. That's why every time when she used to teach her child Anas. You heard the name Anas? Definitely. A lot of your children would be Anas also. A little child used to make Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's khidmah. In Medina was Anas, that was Sulaim's child. So Sulaim was Muslim, so she used to teach her little child, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. Every time she used to teach her child, Iman, Allah, the sunnahs of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The husband one day comes, this was her former husband, and he got very upset. And he said to her, why are you corrupting my child? She says, no, I'm uplifting him, I'm inspiring him, I'm motivating him, I'm teaching him his purpose and his goal in his life. So the mother used to teach this child. Anyway, he passed away. But Anas radiallahu anhu was also Muslim with his mother. So Abu Talha, sometime later, comes to propose for Sulaym, because she was a prominent, honest, loyal woman. And she was a famous woman as well. So when he proposes for her, she said, I can't accept your proposal. So he is thinking to himself, maybe there's someone wealthier than I who proposes for her, and that's her reason for refusal. So he mentioned these sentiments to her. She said, no, it's not that. It's not money. Why I refuse is, I worship Allah. And what do you worship? See, Sahaba, radiallahu anhu, she took the opportunity to share Islam with somebody, even in the case of marriage. She says to him, Abu Talha, you chop down a tree. Half the tree you use as firewood, few portions you use to cook, and the other half you make it into a form and you start worshipping. Does it make sense? Aren't you being disrespectful to your Creator? So she told him this in this manner. I'm not saying you must tell people like this, but this is what Sulaym says to Abu Talha. So Abu Talha says, what you're saying makes sense. So what's this faith of yours? So she explains Islam. But he says, I can't believe that this is the only reason you turned down my proposal. She says, I guarantee you it's that. I'm not worried about your money. I don't want anything from you. Allah gave me. So he says, okay, if I become Muslim, then she says, then I'll accept your proposal. He became Muslim, and they became a couple. Abu Talha and Sulaym, radiyallahu anhuma. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved this couple. He used to always visit them. He used to come to their house. He used to eat with them. Sulaym was her name. She had a sister. Her sister's name was Haram. Haram, radiyallahu anhuma. Now Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had some connection with them because they come from Medina, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mother was from Medina Munawwara, Amina radiyallahu anha. So when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would come in the afternoons to this family, it would be afternoon time, so he would rest. And on the leather that he used to rest on, because it was hot in Arabia, the body perspires. So that perspiration would go onto that leather. So Sulaym and her sister used to collect that perspiration. You heard this famous story before? They used to collect the perspiration of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So one day Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam sees them with these bottles. What are you doing with this? They said, oh Nabi of Allah, this came from your body onto this leather mat. So what do you use it for? Oh Nabi of Allah, we use it as itar, and it smells better than any itar and perfume. This was Sulaym and Haram. So one day Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was resting by Sulaym's sister's house. So he wakes up. So Haram asked him, oh Nabi of Allah, I see you startled. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes, I just saw a dream. Oh Nabi of Allah, what's your dream? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I saw my ummah on the ocean, embarked on ships, taking Islam to Europe. So what's her dua? Oh Nabi of Allah, make dua, Allah make me from them. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, oh Allah, make her also amongst those who take Islam to countries for your sake. See what Sahaba were passionate about? To share Islam, to share the truth. So anyway, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam rested again, and when he got up, he says, he saw this dream again. Oh Nabi of Allah, what dream? He said, I see my Sahaba again on the ship taking Islam. Oh Nabi of Allah, make dua, Allah make me from them. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, you from the first group. And historically proven, after that expedition where Sahaba took Islam to Cyprus, she passed away after that. So beloved brothers, Sahaba radiallahu anhum were a great example for us. And two people coming together is such a great thing in Islam. Most of us are married here, and this is part of deen. And my brother and my friend is also just married. Your nikah was yesterday, isn't it? Day before yesterday, alhamdulillah. Allah Ta'ala keep you happy. So I'll just share a few advices in regards to this that will benefit all of us. Imagine how all-encompassing is Islam. Islam teaches us that we're not only Muslims in the masjid, but even at home we are Muslims. What does that mean? How to enter our home, Islam teaches us. How to leave the home, Islam teaches us. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when a person leaves his home, he should leave his home with the dhikr of Allah. He should leave his home with dua. What's the dua? Bismillahi tawakkaltu ala Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. It means, in Allah's name, I place my reliance on Allah. There's no power or ability that can help me except Allah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when a person reads this dua, actually, shaitan gets so scared of him. And the angel of Allah comes with him. So the one shaitan says to the other shaitan, how can you come near a man who's protected by Allah? So shayateen stay away from him because he just took Allah's name on leaving his home. Now he does his work. What about Sahaba? A wife Sahabi called a Sahabiya would say to a Sahabi when he leaves his home, oh my husband, you're going into the world. Make sure you don't come back with haram. This was the reminder a wife gives the husband. Imagine. The wife is telling the husband, make sure you don't bring haram. Bring halal. Because if you're going to bring haram, how would we tolerate Jahannam? She actually would say, little hunger I can tolerate and we'll suffer together. But how can we tolerate Jahannam? Now these are Sahaba, how great they were. A man goes into his work, he does his business, he treats his customers well, he sees to his patients, he lives in the world with Allah consciousness. Then he comes back home. Islam teaches us how Allah's Nabi would come home. Aisha radiallahu anha was asked, how was Allah's Nabi when he came home? Aisha radiallahu anha said, Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam came home with a brimming smile, dahakan bassaman. What does that teach us? Yes, we go through challenges in the world. We see to people, we see to difficulties. A man is tired. Islam teaches the man that don't come home with troubles and put all those pressures on one's wife. He comes home with the phone in the one hand, still dealing with people out there in the world. This wife of his family is waiting for him. Islam teaches, come home and appreciate the fact that there's someone waiting for you. What a ni'mah of Allah is that. That someone is someone's daughter. That someone is someone's child. Appreciate that Allah, someone left her home and she is spending time with me and is my partner. How much must I thank you for this? Islam teaches that. That's why Allah's Nabi would come home with a smile. Khadija radiallahu anha was asked, how was Allah's Nabi when he came home? Now, remember the two. Aisha radiallahu anha was with Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the Medinan period. And the Meccan period of Allah's Nabi's life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Khadija radiallahu anha passed away. She passed away in Makkah Mukarramah. It was very hurtful for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he loved her so much, even though she was his senior in age, but how she supported him, how she helped him, how she was there for him through all his pains and his worries and his difficulties. She says when Allah's Nabi would come, he would come with a smile, despite all the challenges he would go through. Do you know, my respected elders and mothers and brothers and sisters, what challenges Allah's Nabi went through in Makkah? Some used to torture him. They used to put blood on him, put intestines on him, throw stones on him, make him bleed. Wasn't the easy life in Makkah Mukarramah. Yes, in Medina, Aisha radiallahu anha says he used to make miswak and come home with a beautiful scent. How beautiful is the teaching of our deen. But in Makkah Mukarramah, he had full of blood when he's coming because they used to torture him so much. But Khadija radiallahu anha says, still, he came home giving his wife a smile. Then she says, one day he came home and he was so worried. And I reminded him, oh Nabi of Allah, you normally enter with a smile. He said, oh yeah, I'm sorry. He goes out and he enters his house again with a smile. This is the teaching of the greatest of Allah's creation. Every aspect of life is taught. I can't share so many sunnahs here with you, but it's so encompassing our beautiful deen. Even the wife is taught, my husband is coming back. I should welcome him with a smile too. Look at the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that shaitan tries to enter a person's home through the husband, through the wife, through the children, through the servants, through anybody. How will he enter? When a person enters without taking Allah's name. Just don't take Allah's name, evil jinns will enter that home. Why? Why they came into the home? Because he didn't take Allah's name. Now shayateen are inside the house, showing him her faults, showing her his faults. A small issue becomes a big problem, arguments break out, this one doesn't want to tolerate, that one doesn't want to tolerate. It becomes a big issue. From a small issue, when it started, just take Allah's name and look at Allah's Nabi's sunnah, appreciate what Allah gave you. Nobody is perfect in life. Quran says, Maybe you don't like one thing in your partner, but there's so many other good things. Don't harp on one thing that you don't like. This is not Jannat. Please Allah, Allah will make it like Jannat for you. But the real Jannat is still coming. There your partner won't have, your same partner, but she'll have no faults. Your same partner, he'll have no faults. In dunya, there is weaknesses, but we have to tolerate. We have to be patient. We have to be tolerant. We have to be loving. We have to be compassionate. This is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on coming into the home. Then even when a person partakes of his meal, if he doesn't take Allah's name, he just didn't take Allah's name. Shayateen partake of that meal with him. The hadith. Then the one shaitan says to the other shaitan, see, today we got free meals. And if we didn't take Allah's name on entry, free lodging, free meals. So Allah give us tawfiq to practice the different sunnats of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Such a union it is, that it is a Mubarak union. Sunnah is when the couple get together also to read 2 rakat salah together. Obviously the man will be the imam. He'll make dua after that. She'll make dua also. Sprinkle some water on each other's forehead and make dua that, oh Allah, give me the good in this and save me from any harm. And also what we have to remember, what pleases shaitan the most? What pleases shaitan the most is when a couple breaks up. This pleases shaitan, because what that means is shaitan is going to work towards this. He wants to break the whole ummah, and it starts with the home. It starts with the family. So shaitan will try hard to make this break, but we have to try our best. We have to always think to ourselves, who do I want to please? I want to please my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or I want to make shaitan happy. Simple example, Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhuma, he said to his servant, fix this camel of mine, clean it up, I'm leaving on a journey. He goes in, he does his work, he comes out, he sees that camel all dirty, the work he gave his servant not done. So he says, what happened? He says, I didn't want to do it. This man is his servant who is paying. He says, why you don't want to do it? He says, I want to irritate you. So Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu, he pauses for a moment and he thinks to himself and he says, I know you wanted to upset me, but I don't want to upset you. I rather irritate the one who enticed you to upset me. You know what? Take this amount, it's for you. The camel is a gift for you. Go live your life. I'm freeing you for Allah's pleasure. Something to think about. Before we make any decision, before we say anything, also think, what will please my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And let us always be of those who will make ties and not break ties. Let us be of those who look for good. There's so much of good in people. There's so much of good in family. Let us look for good. Let us always make. Let us always unite. And this is what nikah teaches us. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu advised his wife something. Now you heard the name Abu Darda, great sahabi. His name was Uwaymir. His title, but he became famous by that, was Abu Darda radiallahu anhu. He was close with his wife and he said to her that, oh my wife, let us try something very nice. She said, what is it, oh my husband? He says to her, if you see I am upset, irritated, angry about something, Allah forgive us, we shouldn't become angry. But we are human beings and it's a reality that we'll face at times. If you see I am upset about something, don't become angry at the same time. Wait for me to cool down and then you give me your advice you want to give me. And I will do the same for you. You also are irritated sometimes, the children troubled you, you're going through difficulty. If you're upset, I won't get upset at the same time. I'll remain cool and calm and try and cool you down. And when you cool down, then I'll advise you or say whatever I want to say with you. Because if you're going to get upset and I get upset at the same time, or I'm going to get upset and you get upset at the same time, how will we be able to live a happy life? And really, if we take this advice, my mothers and fathers, my brothers and sisters, let us be the one who says sorry first. This was Rasulullah's teachings. Yes, we don't have to be right to say sorry. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was always right, but he always said sorry first. One day, he was with Maymuna radiallahu anha. Maymuna. I got 3 more minutes. 2 more. We got a few minutes more. 5 more minutes. Maymuna radiallahu anha. He was with her. His wife. You heard the name Maymuna radiallahu anha? Maymuna radiallahu anha. Now, he went out for some errand and he came back. His wife locked the house. Allah's Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam knocked the door. And he sensed that she's irritated about something, she's upset about something. He knocked the door and he knocked the door. She's not opening. She's upset that maybe you went somewhere else, maybe you neglected my turn. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Oh Maymuna, I am Allah's Nabi. How can I ever do you down?" She realized, this is Allah's Nabi I'm dealing with. He went for some errand, he went for some work, he came back. He opened and he didn't even mention it to her again. How could you have done such a thing? How can you think bad of me? He didn't even say it a second time. He understood that was her sentiments and he forgave her for it. And it carries on. Why must we harp on the same thing repeatedly? Allah gives wisdom. Allah Ta'ala save us from that. One day Umar radiallahu anhu was at home. Another individual, a tabi'i, comes to complain to him that my wife is loud mouthing me. He came to complain, and as he approached the door, Umar radiallahu anhu's house, even though he was the ruler of the entire Muslim world, how many continents he ruled, but his house was simple. These were simple people. Sometimes when one of the emperors of Persia was brought as a captive to Medina, and he's brought to the Masjid al-Nabawi, they went to Umar's house. Umar radiallahu anhu was not at home. He went to his servant in the house says, no, he's in the masjid. When they come to the masjid, Umar radiallahu anhu was resting. This man's name was Hurmuzan. Hurmuzan couldn't believe it. This man is resting in the masjid with his shawl as his pillow. This is the king of the dunya and he's resting in the masjid like this with no servants and no guards. That's what Islam is, simplicity. Anyway, this man comes to complain to Umar radiallahu anhu, and his wife, her name was Kulthum. She is rattling him about something and he's quiet. The world fears this man. Rome and Persia, when they just hear his stories, they lose their bowels. And here he's quiet when his wife is rattling him about something. This man walks away. But obviously Umar radiallahu anhu heard the footsteps. So he comes out of the door and he sees this man walking away. He says, brother, wait, what's the problem? He says, I came with some issue, but you're not the man to solve it because I see you in the same boat. He says, what is it? Tell me, I can help you. He says, no man, this is the issue. She's not controlling her tongue and I can't manage it anymore. But I see when your wife is shouting at you, you keep yourself so calm. He says, oh my brother. He says, obviously if she's going to be upset and I get upset at the same time, it's going to be blown out of proportion. I rather wait and be calm. And I think to myself, how much of good she does to me. Through her I get saved from haram. Through her my meals are ready. How much of good she does for me without even me asking her. So shouldn't I appreciate and be cool and calm when she gets upset, because she's also a human being. This man started crying. He says, oh Amirul Mu'mineen, if you can do that, why shouldn't I do the same? So let us be tolerant, let us be respectful, let us make it work. And let us not please shaitan, but please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's one more incident I must tell you and draw one lesson. Brothers, let us do things for deen with our spouses. Do for deen with our partners. Do for Allah's deen. Do for Allah's deen. Why do I say this? See Sahaba radiallahu anhum. This is a story and quite a few incidents I shared with you. Remember it. How are you going to remember? Share it with your brother. Share it with your sister. Share it with your wife. Share it with your children. Rehearse, because we all need to increase in knowledge. If you're going to hear it here and we're not going to share it with the next person, definitely we're going to forget it. Share it with our children. Ask them what they learned. Every day do the Sahaba stories. Let them repeat what was read. You also try and repeat what was read. How much of barakah will come into our homes. One day, Umar radiallahu anhu was patrolling at night. I told you, you know who is Umar radiallahu anhu. He's patrolling at night. And there was some guests into Medina. But because nightfall had come, they couldn't travel further. So they pitched their tent outside Medina Munawwara. It wasn't the time of B&Bs and lodges. And there wasn't much of that. Anyway, and why they had to pitch their tent was because Umar hears this woman is moaning and groaning in pain. And he sees the man outside and he's perturbed and he doesn't know what to do. So Umar radiallahu anhu comes to him and says, brother, what's wrong? What's the noises from inside? He doesn't know. This is Amirul Mu'mineen. He says, you know what, brother, mind your own business. He says, you know what, maybe I can assist you. He says, okay, it's my wife in labor. What you going to do about it? He says, okay. He rushes home. It's 1 o'clock at night. He wakes his wife up. Oh, my wife, there's an opportunity to serve Allah, to make our akhirah. Do you want it? Look how he puts it forward to his wife. The Arabic is so sweet. Hallaki ila khairin qad saqahu Allah ilayk. Allah brought good to you. Take the opportunity. She says, I want it. He says, she wakes up. They say, let's take a pan, take some food. She gets ready and quickly they're out and they're walking and they get to this tent. The wife goes inside and he starts making the fire to cook the food outside. And afterwards he sends the food inside for the woman in labor to try and eat something. Not much time later, Umar's wife from inside the tent screams out respectfully, "O Amirul Mu'mineen, tell your sati, your companion, Allah has blessed him with a son. Bashir sahibaka bi ghulam." This man with Umar radiallahu anhu all night is shocked now. By the time now it's 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. All night this man is entertaining me. I don't even know who he is. Now his wife from inside calls him